back. We're back. All we do is go live. All we do is grind. All we do is shout out to the Niner faithful. What's up? We hit 4K on YouTube. Appreciate y'all. I love ya. Have a what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? You know what we gotta do? We gotta go live with Smitty. It's not a day complete until we go live with my boy Smitty. Quad box. I might have Jake hop in here. We'll see who else wants to pop in. You know, sometimes we get some special guests. What's up, boss man? What's good? What's up, everybody? How we doing? I don't know if you guys saw me earlier, but you know how we do. We always go live. What's good, my man? Jake with the L take. I don't know. I think Jake had some decent takes. What's up? We're going to talk with Jake, hopefully. My man, Niners Detail. What's good? Go follow my man, Niners Detail. Dude puts out some amazing content, man. Fire content. Trip says he hasn't been on in a while. It's all good. You know it's live, you know. Got to do these lives earlier. I try to do live earlier. I go live earlier sometimes on YouTube, but I still work a little bit on the side, so just try to plan my day. It's a busy, and then I got to go get my daughter from school, so busy day, never stops. Half the day I'm in the car or work or here. I don't know. But anyways, let's get to it, man. Let's get to it. Whew. Who's the hat signed by? We got a lot of people. How we doing, my man? There he is, Big Jake. What's good, man?
Bro, it's been a solid, I want to say, 3 or 4 months since I've been live with you.
Yeah, it's been like probably about 4 months, man. It's been a while. How the hell have you been, man? How's the off season?
I have been good. I've been focusing on some other stuff, on some of our other pages. Yeah, now it's football season again, so let's get after it.
Do it, man. I'm excited, man. Football is in the air. 49ers have 2 quarterbacks. Jimmy Garoppolo is still on the roster.
Hey, yeah, okay, so hypothetical, 49ers, Packers meet in the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
Do they put in Jimmy Garoppolo?
No, man. You got to keep.
No.
You got to pay out the whole season. Like, this is Trey's season. He's quarterback one. Jimmy's just the well, he's not even expensive anymore. Backup insurance policy.
Yeah.
Case of fire, break glass, have an injury or something like that. You go. But, I mean, it's a valid question because Jimmy Garoppolo literally owns Aaron Rodgers in the play. Like, It's a good luck charm. It's like he's the rabbit's foot, right? If Jimmy was to go into the playoffs and the Niners go into the playoff, I mean, I'm sure some people would say it. But man, oh man,
the thought would run through Shanahan's mind. I guarantee you that.
It would. I know
It
a lot of
would.
people agree with us that it's a valid question. It's a valid question because Shanahan, he thinks differently than all of us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh man.
For my sake and for my mental health sake, I hope that doesn't happen. I hope we don't meet in the playoffs. I hope. But so we have pretty similar record predictions for the 49ers.
Yeah.
Some people are mad that their ceiling is only 10-7, but at the end of the day, I'm not setting my expectations extremely high for Trey Lance like a lot of others are, which is totally fine if you are. I get the hype. Smitty is that guy. I'm playing it cool for now. I think it's a solid approach. That's how I'm approaching it. I think 10-7, maybe 11-6 makes sense. Anything higher than that doesn't seem right in my eyes. I don't know the right word to say, but yeah, I mean, they're definitely they have a Super Bowl roster. It's just a matter if they can piece it together, stay healthy, and if what we get out of Trey Lance. So, I mean,
I don't think you're bad. I know a lot of people, because look, you're in a Niner chat, and of course, Niner fans were going to be like, oh,
yeah.
we got to go higher, we got to win. That's how it goes. Rah, 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 you go for your team. Like, if I was on a Packer chat and I said,
100%.
8, y'all would flame me up. Like, no, you kidding me up, Aaron Rodgers. Like, but you're right. Like, I think you played it safe. You did the conservative route. You said, Trey Lance is a young quarterback. You got to temper expectations regardless of who's on the team around him. He's still young. I get it. It's the safe take, and that's not a bad take. I think that was an okay take. And
you're going to love this. I have the 49ers with a better record than the Packers this year. I only have the Packers going 9-8.
Yeah. You only have 9-8?
Yeah.
You got the Packers?
Even though Rodgers can do this?
Yeah, unfortunately, Smitty, that doesn't help when you have 300-pound defensive linemen built out of steroids running at you. So,
Oh,
um, yeah, kind of forgot
Uh,
about that part.
you know
Yeah,
what?
I only have the Packers finishing 9-8. I think that defense is only going to be able to carry them so far. We have no idea what the wide receiver room is going to produce.
Yeah.
you got Dobbs, baby. Dobbs all
I
the way.
mean, yeah, you really want to put all your eggs in his basket, though.
What you
I mean,
Lots of bad.
you guys crapped the bed on letting you guys crapped the bed on letting Adams go when literally you didn't have to trade him. You didn't have to.
yeah, I
The
know. Yeah,
don't control their destiny. I don't know why you guys traded Adams away. You got a small window of time. It was like you got to admit it was a really bad move.
yeah, it's a
It was
bad move. I understand from Devonta Adams' perspective why he wanted to be moved. I understand he wants to end his career with his boy Derek Carr out in Vegas. It's kind of where he's from, I believe. He's from California or Vegas or somewhere around there.
Played
They
at
played
Fresno.
college together. Yeah, played at Fresno State. So I mean, it's his very fairy tale ending. As a Packers fan, I'm not going to hold a grudge against him for that. But as a Packers fan, the move sucks. It does. It does,
it's a
especially
business.
since
He doesn't get to decide where he's going, and I think it's crazy the Packers let him go. I
mm,
would have said, "Oh, you're not going. We got Aaron Rodgers for it's a business. We got Aaron Rodgers for 1 or 2 more years. You're going to stay. We're going to pay you handsomely. He's not going to turn down the money. No player is going to turn down the money, and say, I'm going to force this trade when you're getting the bag. Like he's not just getting a little itty bitty upgrade. He's getting the bag, and he's going to eventually accept it and play. I just don't understand where the logic is. You sign Rodgers to this massive deal, and then you literally it's like buying a brand new vehicle, and it has amazing rims, amazing wheels, amazing everything, and then you take the wheels off at the end. What on earth are the Packers thinking? You guys aren't going to win the Super Bowl without Adams,
yeah.
and some people say they played better without it. I don't know.
I
No,
love that. My,
Find
my
out.
first time my first time live with you guys in a couple months, Smitty's just absolutely shitting on the Packers. I love it. I miss
Yeah.
this. I
I'm
miss
sorry.
this.
Hey, you can shit. You want to shit on the Cardinals? Look,
Oh,
we
there's
had
a, there's a lot to shit on the Cardinals about, but you know what? I'm gonna spare you because I'm sure you hear it enough.
Yeah, he gets in enough from me. I'm
Yeah,
just wild on the Cardinals. You know how I am with the Cardinals. But you know what? We'll spare Smitty for the night because we love Smitty. But okay, so the Packers, I know Devontae, he's on the Raiders with his boy Carr chilling. They're gonna try to do what they got to do with the Raiders. I mean, I think it was a good move for Devontae. I mean, he gets to go play with someone he actually likes to play. Maybe there was some turmoil with
yeah.
him and Rob.
You don't know what happens in those locker rooms. Yeah.
You know what's going on in those locker rooms. But at the end of the day, I know you got him winning what 9 wins. I
Yep.
still
9-8.
are good enough for 10 or 11 wins because of the fact you have Aaron Rodgers. As much as he's not a
Yeah.
playoff type quarterback, he could still win you some games in the regular season that you probably shouldn't win. I know defense is a question, but I think Aaron Rodgers is good for 2-3 wins that you're like, how the hell did they pull that game out? So I still got them winning 10.
that was kind of an underhanded shitting on the Packers. Underhanded, like I shit on you. I came out front in the open and shit on the Packers. He did an underhand thing. He's not going to win playoff games, but you guys are going to win the regular season.
Oh yeah. I mean, I still have the Packers sneaking into like a wild card spot. Are they gonna make a run like they did in 2010 when they were the 6th seed? Maybe. I mean, it depends how they're rolling into the playoffs, but I was not saying it. The defense is good. Defense is really
Defense is
good,
good. Defense
but
is good. What you need though, Jake, is you need the team and the offense, the coaching staff to understand that you need to feed Aaron Jones 90
Yeah.
receptions or more. If you don't get 90 receptions or more out of Aaron Jones, you try and do like a 50-50 divide without having both of them on the field, which I think you guys are going to probably do, is have Aaron Jones be your most reliable receiver.
Yeah.
But if you don't utilize that, you have no shot. If you give Aaron Jones 90 plus receptions and he stays healthy, I think you do have a shot of being a playoff contending team. I don't know that you win the Super Bowl, but I think you could definitely be a top 4 team in the NFC. No question about it. If you give Aaron Jones that kind of work, but
You're right. They need to give Aaron Jones because he's more reliable. He's the veteran kind of guy of the team. He could take some pressure because they have young receivers, right? Christian
yeah,
Watson. I think he was hurt, like we said.
Andy Watkins, Randall Cobb are the 2 vets.
Yeah. I don't know. I think you let Jones kind of do your thing. Is Bakhtiari back with you guys? I don't know. How's Bakhtiari looking?
He is practicing finally, which is
Oh,
a huge. the right direction. Not sure what his status is for week 1, but the hope is he will be back at some point this season.
Yeah, that's huge, man. Now you guys need to have Bakhtiari because that is, you're right. But in this league, you got to protect the quarterback. It's like if the Niners were to lose Trent Williams, like our O line's a little scary as it is. If we don't have Trent Williams, sign me up for a first round pick. I'll be scared. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
Bakhtiari is to the Packers as what Trent Williams is to the Niners, 100%. So, yeah. Smitty, did you see? I have the Cardinals going 7-10.
I don't blame you. The Cardinals have the worst schedule in the NFL. I could see them winning 10 games, but I could see them also winning 7. I mean, we have literally the worst, I think, final 8 or 9 game schedule in the entire NFL. I mean, you could maybe argue that they fight tooth and nail and win a couple games that are going to be tough, but they have literally 2 or 3 very winnable games in the last 8 games.
Mm-hmm.
And could they win 1 or 2 more? Sure. But the Cardinals better have an amazing record going into that last 8 games because we're gonna half of them.
And we know how the Cardinals are in the second half of seasons, so that track record's not helping you there. The fact that stretch doesn't look good.
Hopkins is coming back.
Not a good coach.
Maybe we'll flip the script on that. We'll go real soft in the beginning and we'll go hardcore at the end. I don't know.
You would hope so, Smitty, because Kingsbury, if he plays like he normally does, he always gets off to a good hot start and then he tails off. So hopefully you switch it up. You don't have DeAndre Hopkins the first 6 games of the season. So it's going to be hard to start off on a hot note. But, we'll see you, Smitty. Going back to that NFC North division, Jake, who do you think wins the division? You think the Vikings take it?
Yeah, the Vikings, I think they're going to take it. I like Kirk Cousins. Everyone knows that.
I like it.
Or Justin Jefferson feeling is solid when healthy. KJ Osborne, sorry about that. Irv Smith Jr. is a very breakout-ish tight end that they got. Obviously, Dalvin Cook is still there. He's a top 7-8 running back when healthy. And if you look at the Vikings last year, I think they were 1-7 in one-score games, and that comes down to coaching a lot of the times. New head coach there, really like that head coaching hire there. I believe it's Kevin O'Connell, if I remember correctly. Brings a whole new dimension to the offense. I think it's going to be more air raid. And yeah, their defense suffered a lot of injuries last year. They went up and picked up Zadarius Smith from the Packers this offseason, bringing back a bunch of guys.
You guys.
It's a good team. And I have reaching like their highest of expectations this year, going 13-4, potentially being the number 1 seed in the NFC. But that's just how I am. I'm high on the Vikings every year. Last year it didn't work out because of the stuff I just mentioned. This year I'm hoping it's different.
The Lions are going to surprise some people too.
Yeah.
The Lions and Texans can beat any team on any given Sunday. Texans and Lions are going to turn heads, not be playoff teams.
Yeah.
They're going to be scrappy. They're going to be competitive, scrappy teams.
Right.
They might win a lot. Like, they might win 6 games, but they're going to make you fight, and they're going to be like,
right,
man, it's a tough win. Like, you beat the
Neither will make the playoffs. Neither will make the playoffs, but the Lions will beat any team on any given Sunday. The Texans will do the same. Dameon Pierce is going to be a top 10 to 12 running back. This guy's a monster. What a find. What a find, this Texans team grabbing this kid. And then the Lions are loaded. They kind of have the Tannehill situation where it's like Tannehill is an okay quarterback, but there's so much talent, he looks a lot better.
Yeah.
So Goff's going to do okay. They need a quarterback. They're 1 quarterback away. Look at all the casuals in here. They have no idea the Lions are loaded with talent.
My boy.
Yeah.
They got dogs on that team, and Dan Campbell has changed
People
the
don't say it's fine.
Campbell,
it's fine.
Ever since he took over.
Give them a year or two, about 2 years, and they're going to be a playoff.
One quarterback away. Just as soon as they get their quarterback, the Lions with Jamison Williams, with St. Brown, with Swift, with Hawkinson, this team is loaded. People in here don't.
2 or 3 out the road. This division's up for grabs. Anybody.
Yeah. But I agree with you. I think Packers and Vikings are going to be. It's going to be a dogfight for that division win. I think the Vikings, it comes down to does Dalvin Cook stay healthy? He's got that labrum issue. I don't know if his ball and socket's going to stay connected during the whole season. I just feel like that guy's a walking injury. He's always a walking injury anyway, but his ball is he's got that torn labrum, man. That ball and socket comes out like that. It's like there's no he probably is torn it like 3 or 4 different places if I had to guess. So Cook's a liability, but they're going to run that same system that made Cooper Kupp, unguardable. So JJ could have 2,000 yards.
Okay, yards easily. Yeah, that 4 round.
He's dumb. JJ's
So,
going to be
with your 49ers prediction going 11-6, is that good enough to win the NFC West, or do you have the Rams finishing on top there?
the Rams and the Niners both at 11-6. I think it can win the division. I think they can. It really depends on how they play heads up against the NFC West, and that's really what it's going to come down to. Tiebreaker. Because I know the Rams, I got to give them credit. They won the NFC Championship. They won the Super Bowl. You know, they're the champions. They're going to have a target on their back, though. When you come into the season and you're defending Super Bowl champions, you got a little bit of a hangover. There's a little bit of a slump at times. You might struggle out the gate. So there's going to be time where you maybe not playing up to speed, And Matt Stafford's dealing with some shoulders, some elbows, some arm. He's dealing with some issues on that arm. So that's going to be something to keep an eye on all season. They got talent. I'm not going to deny them. Jalen Ramsey's coming into the season after getting surgery. Nobody's talking about that enough. I think they're going to be a little banged up at times. The Niners know how to play these guys. They could beat them any given Sunday.
Running back room banged up bad.
Yeah.
And Cam Akers is not going to be the same guy no matter how much people want him to be. Tore his Achilles tendon. Yeah. He's not coming back to form for a while if he ever does, because no one's ever done it. No one in the history of the NFL has ever become a top 15 running back after a torn Achilles tendon.
I'm telling you, Smitty.
Smitty's trying to ruin my now. I drafted Cam Akers tonight in the 3rd round.
You shouldn't have. You should have consulted with me, Jake. I would have given you some great advice walking into your draft. Cam Akers is a disaster of a pick at the 3rd round.
That's a bad.
I could have been there for you, Jake. Do you have another draft coming up?
I have one more coming up.
Okay, you and I need to talk at least for like 20 minutes before. I'll give you all the picks.
Let me run through my team quick.
So someone said the Rams added Bobby Wagner. You think I'm scared about Bobby Wagner? He was good 4 years ago. He's getting great player, legendary player. He's on the tail end of his career. He doesn't play every position. I'm not worried about Bobby Wagner. He's great. He'll have a lot of tackles. I'm not worried about Bobby Wagner. I'm telling you, man, the Rams are going to struggle at some points. I could see them winning 11 games just because you got to give them that respect. They got good players. But I think the Niners can win this division. If we stay healthy, it's going to be a dogfight. That NFC West is a damn battle. That it is going to be a battle. But I could see the Rams and the Niners being close to that 11-12 win mark. Whoever gets, the tiebreaker or whoever wins that 11th game is going to win the division. That's basically what it comes down to. Richard Sherman, he was on his podcast today, and he says that he thinks that the 49ers are going to win the NFC West, and he has the 49ers beating the Bills in the Super Bowl. I know he's a homer, but I got to love it.
I love the hot take, but
how many wins does Seattle have? 2, 3?
I give them 5.
5 to be nice.
That's a lot.
5.
Yeah, that's a lot. I think they have the number 1 pick. I think they could turn the team around pretty quickly though if they get the number 1 pick or they get a quarterback in there. They got Kenny Walker. They got offensive linemen. They got DK Metcalf signed. They've got a good squad just with no leadership at the quarterback position, so it's garbage. Like you can't survive without a quarterback, so that's why they're going to be garbage. But maybe in like 2 or 3 years, they're looking pretty good again. We'll see.
Yeah, garbage team. They got no O-line. Wait till they got to get a quarterback, and that's probably what they'll do. They'll probably tank and get the best quarterback in the draft. So.
How about the NFC East? That's a tough one to predict because you're going to get Niner fans in here are going to hate on the Cowboys and act like the Cowboys don't have a shot, but like the Cowboys are going to make some noise. I think the Eagles are going to win the division. I think the Eagles are probably going to win the division. I think Jalen Hurts, AJ Brown, Devontae Smith, Goddard, Sermon, your boy Sermon over there in Philly now.
got Trey Sermon, man. They claimed him up today.
Liability. What a liability. He's going to be a liability for Jalen Hurts, bro.
So
Get him
John
off the field.
today, he addressed the media. Well, he talked to the media. He didn't have a press conference, but if I watched it on YouTube, Dave Lombardi recorded it. So him and Adam Peters addressed the media, and they were like, "Oh yeah, basically Jordan Mason outplayed the guy, undrafted guy." And he says he just wasn't where he needed to be last year. This year just wasn't it. You could tell he just didn't fit the system. So they were like, "Yeah, we hope that if he clears waivers, we'll bring him back." If you lost the job to an undrafted guy, they were done with him. Yeah. And the Eagles, they went and claimed him today. The most interesting part of that whole situation, Adam Schefter reported. Okay, so he reported that the Eagles claimed him. They actually talked to the Niners about a trade last week for Trey Sermon. It didn't end up happening. Niners cut him, so the Eagles are like, all right, cool, we'll take him anyways without giving you any. So they just got trade.
But that's Shanahan and John for you. Like it's like they're probably like, give us a fourth rounder.
Yeah,
and they're like, we're not getting a fourth rounder. They're like,
and the Eagles are like, we'll give you Jalen Reagor, and the Niners are like, nah, man, we'll just cut him. You could have him next week.
They're like, Jalen Reagor was supposed to go to the Minnesota Vikings. He needs to be. He's destined.
Yeah, him and JJ, they're gonna run it up.
Yeah, probably not. But yeah, I mean, I think the Eagles and the Cowboys will be a dogfight for winning that division. Whoever loses will be a wild card spot, in my opinion.
I do think the Eagles will win it. They probably got the best talent. A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts is going to be a dynamic duo. They got some good safeties on the team. Decent defense. Defense is pretty good.
Hurts is going to score 40 touchdowns. He's going to score 40 touchdowns. Hurts is going to score 40 touchdowns or more. 40 touchdowns or more. I mean, he's gonna throw right around 30 at least, and he's gonna run in about 8 to 10. It's gonna be a big year. Jalen Hurts is gonna explode. Giving him A.J. Brown, everyone acts like they know who he is. Just like Trey, I really liken Trey to Jalen Hurts in a lot of ways. They're both running quarterbacks. They're both doubted by the media. They're both doubted by everybody. Everybody says they can't throw the ball, and everybody's judging them too early when they haven't even had time to blossom or in Hurts' case, get the weapons he needs. In Lance's case, even get a freaking multiple starts in a row to even judge him off. You know, they're very, very similar to me, and I absolutely love both these guys, and they're both going to light the league on fire.
It's tough stuff. Let's see. Yeah, I think Eagles win it. Probably have 10 wins. I mean, that NFC East, those teams never usually win a lot of games. 10 wins is probably going to get you the division there. Maybe the Cowboys have 9 or 10 wins. They might have 9 wins, like 9 to 8. They're just kind of soft. I know they got some good players, but you got a man, Trevon Diggs, safety. He deactivated his Twitter after he got roasted this summer because he was getting picked apart left and right in practices. So he just deactivated his Twitter. This guy, they're gonna get where he's gonna get a touchdown thrown on him. He's not that good. Micah Parsons, he talks too much, man. He talks too much. Dak, I like Dak. They lost, Cooper. That might hurt him. They're hyping up Zeke Elliott. I think Zeke's washed. Pollard's better. He's way better.
We got delivery. We got delivery, guys.
What do we get?
Looks like off. Pizza.
It's like a bakery, like cookies and brownies and stuff like that. Miss Smitty ordered. So.
Okay, here we go. So yeah, I got Eagles winning that division. I don't know, Commanders.
Great for my weight.
I don't got them winning a lot of games. I don't think Carson Wentz is even that good of he's terrible.
Yeah, I have
Carson Wentz is, bro. Yeah.
Yeah, he's about done. His career's about done, unfortunately. But I was gonna say I'm all in on the Eagles this year. I think they have the most complete roster in the NFC East. All of the NFC East teams have like the top 5, top 4 easiest schedules in the league. I think the Eagles are going to take advantage of that. I think Jalen Hurts is going to break out, not to the extent that you were talking about, Smitty, with 40 tutties, but I think all he needs to do is be like a Brian Tannehill type quarterback, be a game manager with that added mobility, and they're going to get the job done there. And I like A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith. That's a great wide receiver duo. The O-line is very good. The defense is sneaky good. They made some great additions to it this offseason. As far as the Cowboys go, I think they got worse this offseason. I don't think I even have them making the playoffs at all. Don't like trading Cooper, especially for a fifth rounder. When you look at who Rieger just got traded for a fourth and a seventh. Like, how do you let that happen? I don't know how you let that happen. Don't think we're going to see the same turnover rate out of Diggs in that defense. Micah Parsons, very, very good player, but a lot of the weight of that defense is going to be on his shoulders, and that's a lot to ask for a
Playmakers,
guy.
that defense,
Much.
they
I
make
like
plays.
Talks too much. Gonna have a lot of pressure on him. You're right. Yeah, I think we're all kind of in agreement on that. Moving over. Okay, now you got the NFC South. What do you guys think about that? You think Buccaneers run away with it, or do you think the Saints pressure them, or some team steps up and pulls the wool, like just surprises them? Carolina. What do you think?
Oh, go ahead, Jake.
All right. Yeah, I have the Bucs winning. I mean, they have the best roster in that division. Tom Brady's gonna win you games. That's just how he is. Very good wide receiver room. Even though Godwin is still hurt, I believe he'll be back soon. Still have Evans and Julio and Gage and Braids and Fournette. I mean, they're stacked. And defense, I believe they did lose a couple of pieces, but the defense is still good enough to keep you in games every week, to win you games if you need to. Saints, I have them missing the playoffs, which was an unpopular opinion on my page. As much as I love Jameis Winston the person, I don't think Jameis Winston the quarterback is that guy. And then a sneaky team, I could see the Panthers if Baker Mayfield gets back to, like the Baker Mayfield that took the Browns to the playoffs. They have a chance with the NFC being weaker to maybe slide into the 7 spot, that last wild card. But I wouldn't put money on it or anything, obviously. But they could potentially be an underdog team this year. But overall, Bucks going to take that division easily.
Okay, Smitty, what do you think about the NFC South?
I mean, like, here's what I think, and I look, I'm saying it for almost a month now, but there's something going on with Brady, and everybody's acting like he was just taking time, it's no big deal. But I've been saying it from the beginning, man. There's something going on, and emotionally, mentally, he's struggling. And Tom Brady 2 years ago would not have taken off any time in August. It just wouldn't have happened. It wouldn't have happened. So he's not. I think he's struggling with the commitment he made to play this year. I think it really is. I think by looking at the division, though, it's gonna be one of those things where I think they underperform by a lot.
Yeah.
And I think they still win the division because I think the New Orleans Saints are vulnerable in a lot of ways. Winston, he's got to prove he can stay healthy from the ACL. He's got to prove he can even be consistent.
Yeah.
He's been injured, so coming back from injury is tough. I also think Kamara's not out of the woods yet. People think Kamara's just out of the woods. That video, the full video releases, he's done. And that video, let me ask you a question. What video has not released? Every video is released. The Ray Rice video leaked. The Kareem Hunt video leaked. This Alvin Kamara video is going to leak. He's in 2 different court cases. One is going civil with the same attorney that represented all the victims in Deshaun Watson's case. He's filing a civil case against Kamara. So that's a whole big old ordeal. The criminal case is completely separate. That's going to be brought forth. And even if there's a plea involved, it's not where you settle. You can't settle in criminal. It would be a plea. Even if there was a plea involved, he'd be admitting guilt and would be facing some form of punishment from the NFL. And I know everybody's selling point is that the trial can't end until the end of the season or after the end of the season. But if he's going through 2 trials at the same time, the NFL, even if the trial begins, the NFL is going to probably put him, I think, on the exempt list paid, which won't be deemed as a punishment. And or if the video gets released, he's done. He's done because the video is gruesome. So I think the Saints are Mike Thomas. You don't know what he's going to bring to the table. Yeah, I'm going to say even with the disappointing season, the Bucs are still going to win the division.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't think that the Bucs are going to have this overpowering. Like everybody's the Bucs are going to run away with. I think there's going to be some issues because O-line is in shambles. They lose a lineman every week. It seems like. Defense isn't what it was. I don't think it was. I mean, they still got some players. Don't get me wrong. Receiver room is great, like you said, Jake. But Tom Brady, he's not getting any younger. There is something there. I think it's some issues with Giselle. I think there's some marital problems or some type of issue. That's kind of what's starting to leak out there. Down in his mind, you got you got relationship problems trying to play in the league. It's kind of, it might catch up to him. He's gonna have some days where he's gonna be like, oh man, I think it might come out to surface soon. I know he's trying to like sweep it under the rug and do his due diligence and say, hey, look, let's not bring this up. Something's happening. You're right. Tom Brady doesn't take time off in August for season prep and getting out there. Tom Brady, man, we know Tom Brady. He's a very smart guy. He has the same routine. He does the same thing every day, in and out. That's how these like winners like that, they kind of have their routines, and he's away from his routine. There's something there. The Buccaneers, I don't think they're going to run away with this division. The Saints, I like Jameis, but you're right. He's coming off a big injury. How effective can he be? There's a question mark with Kamara. Michael Thomas, injury city. He's not as good as he once was. They got questions. Defense is good. It'll kind of keep them in games. But can Jameis Winston get over the hump? I think they'll compete. Carolina's a division. Crazy. He went from a tough division to a team that they actually could limp in, like Jake said, because the NFC is a little, it's a lot easier than where he was in the AFC. So I think Baker, touchdown maker, turnover maker, might actually be able to take the Carolina Panthers to a 9-win season, and that might be good enough to win the playoffs.
It might win the division. 9 wins might win that division. I'm telling you, I don't think it's going to be a crazy win total.
Competitive. They're not going to win the division, but they're going to be competitive. They got some players. I kind of like Mariota on there, and then their backup, their young kid, they're developing him. Pitts is going to be amazing. He's going to be a touchdown machine, but they don't have a defense. I mean, they got some players, but it's going to be a competitive division in the sense of they're all going to be evenly matched. But I think ultimately the Bucs win the division. Maybe
Great.
10. But I could see Carolina being a sleeper.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll see. So that's the NFC. So we have, let's recap. We have the Rams, the Niners. We have the Packers, the Vikings. We have the Bucks and the Panthers.
The Eagles.
And the Eagles, yeah.
Eagles and Cowboys, are the two top divisions.
Those are our top teams in the NFC, again, looks like, from each division. So we'll see. We'll see. What about AFC? You want to go to AFC real quick?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can run the AFC and then
AFC East. Want to start at the top?
The thing that separates the Bucs though from these other teams, they got a little bit better defense than Atlanta and Carolina. Saints defense isn't bad actually. I think they're going to be competitive because of their defense, but I think the Bucs overall, their defense is going to kind of put them over the hump, and that's what gets them the division. But Tom Brady, I don't know. We'll see.
So if we start at the AFC West, I think it's pretty safe to say the Bills are going to win the division. But like, what happens inside that division at the number, the wild card spot, potentially a wild card spot could be won by one of those teams, whether it's Miami, whether it's the New England Patriots. But I feel like the Patriots won't. I don't think they're going to be in wild. I think they'll be in wild card contention, but they won't grab a spot. I think the Dolphins could. They could grab the last wild card spot.
So let's go through each division. Let's go through the AFC West. Obviously, probably the craziest division in the NFL now. They loaded up every team. They went crazy. The NFC West, obviously, is probably the second best division. I mean, the NFC West is loaded with talent. But on the AFC side, AFC West is insane. You got the Chargers, who I think should probably be one of the favorites to make it to the Super Bowl. He's coming into a season, and he's had his 2 seasons, and everybody's primed, or Justin Herbert's primed for like a MVP type season. The offense is loaded. Allen and everybody else on that offense, man, they are locked and loaded. They made this defense like just insane. You got Derwin James, Khalil Mack, you got Joey Bosa, you got Asante Samuel. You have some nasty players on defense. This team on paper looks like one of the best teams in the league. I think they'll win the AFC West. I think they're going to take it. I know you got the Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes. They lost Tyreek Hill. That's going to be big for them. And Juju is not Tyreek Hill. He's going to be doing his Fortnite dances, whatever he wants to do. TikTok. Him and Jackson Mahomes are going to be vibing out together, but that's a big loss. Tyreek Hill is a big loss, and Charvarius Ward is a big loss for the Chiefs. Nobody talks about that enough. I think they'll win games. They're competitive because they have Mahomes. They've lost some players that are going to really hurt their chances. I think they'll finish second in that division. I have the Raiders winning About 9 wins probably. They might slump into the playoffs to the wild card. I think they're going to be the third team in that AFC. Like, might even make it to the second team. I know it's crazy. They get a good defense. Devontae Adams is going to change everything for that team. I'm telling you, he's going to be a big difference. Him and Carr. Carr has to kind of put it together and make it work, limit the turnovers. But I think Carr and Adams are going to feast. And then the last place team, Broncos country, let's ride. I think Russell Wilson. The Broncos team is so overrated, man. Everybody's sitting there thinking Russell Wilson got paid way too much money. That's all I'm going to say.
Go ahead, Jake. I'll go last on this one.
Yeah. My AFC West doesn't look like Raj at all. In last place, I have the Kansas City Chiefs going 7-10. Losing Tyreek is huge. Losing Ward is huge. Losing Matthew is huge. Like you said, Juju not good enough to fill that void that Tyreek left. Marquez Valdez-Scantling is the other wide receiver there. I know how he operates as a Packers fan. He's boom or bust. Majority of the time, it's bust. Not really sure what the RB room looks like. There's really not a certain guy in there that I'm really feeling confident about. The defense overall just got worse. And Patrick Mahomes does have a stretches where he does play not to the superstar level that we're used to. I think we see that again with the loss of Tyreek. Have them finishing like 7-10 this year. Third team is the Raiders. I have them in that 8-9 win range. Not good enough to make the playoffs in the stacked AFC. I really love their offense. I'm kind of worried about their defense, though. Adding Chandler Jones is big, but I don't think it's enough to really take them into a playoff spot. I have the Broncos going 10-7, making a wild card spot. I really like the offense. Russell Wilson's a good quarterback. Jerry Jeudy and Courtland Sutton are good wide receivers. Javonte Williams and Melvin Gordon are good running backs. They have a serviceable O-line, and their defense is full of young studs. I like that team. I think Russ wouldn't have gone to Denver if he didn't love that team as well. They probably have a solid window of 3 to 4 years to win now. And then, Chargers clearly far and wide the best team in that division, Super Bowl bound. I would say it's not really ridiculous to say that. Herbert's going to be in the MVP race. Their offense is absolutely loaded. Defense absolutely loaded. Kind of have them around the 12-13 win range. So that's kind of what my AFC West looks like. A bit different than yours, but I'm going to hand it over to Smitty.
Yeah, I mean, Chargers. I think the Chargers win the Super Bowl. I think Herbert wins the NFL MVP. I think Herbert takes a huge, massive step forward. He was already statistically the second best quarterback in the NFL last year. So when people don't know that and they say, like, how could he be the number one quarterback? He was already right there. He was already right there, and he didn't even take his big step forward yet. They've got weapons galore. Eckler. You could argue that nobody has – you could say that the Niners have almost as good of a trio or whatever, but – I think you could argue Eckler's so good in his part of that, like, triangle piece. You got Keenan Allen, you got Mike Williams, and you got Austin Eckler. I mean, it's phenomenal. I think they win the division pretty easily. I think it's going to be a dogfight between the remaining three teams, and it's crazy to think, but maybe all three of those teams make all three of the wild card spots. I don't know, statistically speaking, how likely it is when they beat up on each other twice a year. So we'd have to look at the numbers on that. But I think it's possible that all three teams make the wild card spots. But if I had to rank them, I would probably say I think Mahomes is still good enough to grab one of those wild card spots, but I think it's going to be choppy during certain parts of the season. I agree with Jake. He can have some moments and other moments, and if you take away Tyreek Hill, I mean, the odds of him having those bad moments are likely, here and there. I think Kelsey's going to get double teamed. He's getting up there in age. He's 33 years old, turning 33 years old this year. He's going to eventually start, missing time. It's inevitable. As much as people don't want it to happen, he's 33 years old. He's played 9 seasons, and he's missed one game in the last 8 years. So it's like, it's going to happen. Whether it's this year or next year, it's going to happen. Yeah. So I kind of feel like they're the most vulnerable to maybe fall to the bottom. But I'm going to right now rank the Raiders 4th and say they missed the playoffs even with like a 10-11 win season, which is crazy. But the AFC's that stacked. The AFC's that stacked. I think they're all double-digit win teams. I don't think there's a single-digit win team. But I'm going to say that the Broncos are second. and they
Wow.
secure a wild card spot with ease.
You guys are overrated, Broncos. They're so overrated. Russell.
They've got arguably the best. They've got arguably the best running back in the entire NFL.
Yep.
In Javonte Williams, and
They're
it's hard to see that. It's hard to see that until it happens. And you've got two wide receivers where, correct, we don't know which one's the number one, but they're both so good. They're both elite number two wide receivers. It's similar to the Keenan Allen and Mike Williams thing. It's like maybe one of them doesn't pull away from the other, but it's like you've got two guys that are very, very, very good. You got Albert O, a really good tight end that can play wide receiver and tight end. You got a dynamic dual running back crew where you're literally going to see Javonte Williams become the one or the two overall running back in the entire National Football League this year. And it's going to be, he was number one in the NFL in broken tackles, Raj, and he played halftime last year. He beat out JT. He beat out Najee Harris. He played halftime. He had more broken tackles than anybody in the National Football League playing halftime. He did this in college too. He was an absolute tackle-breaking monster.
They got good players. Jerry Jeudy, I'm the biggest Jerry Jeudy fan in the world. Cortland Sutton, he's not bad. He's coming off a major injury, though. So, temper
They got
your
KJ Hamler. That's a really good third wide receiver. Broncos finished second.
I get
Broncos finished second.
and he's going to elevate their quarterback. He's going to be the best quarterback they've had in a long time. He does great for the first 8 games of the season, then he kind of burns out. That's Russell Wilson. He is a good quarterback. I think he deserved his money. Russell Wilson will go down in the books as one of the top quarterbacks ever. Hall of Famer, I get it, but he is not going to elevate this team to be. I think they're going to finish 4th. I know it's a hot take. This is a steaming take. I don't think a lot of people think of what I'm thinking, but I'm telling you, Broncos will be 4th in the AFC West. That's my take. I know a lot of people don't agree with me.
Russell Wilson's a winner, bro. I mean,
I'm just saying. I love Jay Jones. They signed him. They signed K'Wan Williams. I get it. They had a splashy offseason. They will finish 4th in the AFC West. Let's go to the next conference. The next conference is the AFC East. You got the Bills, you got the Jets, you got the Patriots, and you got Miami Mike. The Miami Niners. Let's talk about that division. Smitty, lead it off. What do you think about the AFC East?
I mean, it's Buffalo far and away. You know, they win the division. It's not even close. It really just comes down to, like, the Jets aren't going to be in contention. The Jets are a year or two away. I think they do have a really good team. I think people clown too much on the Jets foundation that they're building. I mean, their defense, they just need to get this quarterback thing, you know, under control. And I think Mike White's probably the best quarterback on the roster. And I'm not saying Zach Wilson doesn't have upside. I still really like his potential, but you know, he is derailed his own career in some ways. And I don't think this off the field stuff's helping. I think Eric Davis came in and said he didn't think he had the right mentality. I'm starting to agree with Eric Davis on that. I'm starting to worry about whether Zach Wilson can, because sometimes you can't translate. Sometimes, like a Johnny Manziel, one of the best college football players ever, doesn't translate. For whatever reason, it's not translating right now. So we'll see what happens there. But I think the Jets are completely out of contention. It comes down to the Patriots versus the Dolphins. And I don't think the Patriots have the offensive weaponry to win enough games and stave off a team that's going to be exciting in the Miami Dolphins. Maybe they'll be hit and miss. I don't think they'll always be lights out. There's a lot of potential ups and downs, I think, for them. But Tyreek Hill is looking phenomenal right now. He makes Tua look amazing. Like, you know, just like AJ Brown made Tannehill look amazing. I don't think Tua is this amazing quarterback, but he's looking really good because of how good Tyreek Hill is. Waddle's been injured all camp, so it's like you can't really judge their preseason. And they've got like 100,000 running backs, so one of them is going to do something productive. Yeah, so one of them. I have a feeling if Miami Mike uses both Waddle and Tyreek Hill in Deebo Samuel-esque roles, this offense is just going to be confusing to contain. So it's like you can hate on it all you want, but you're not going to be able to contain it. So I think they're going to be the second place team in that division and give the Raiders a run for the last wild card spot, because the Raiders still could capture it. All three of the AFC West teams could grab those wild card spots. But I think Miami will be one of the big contenders to try and take it from the Raiders.
Okay. So who do you have finished winning that division? You got the Bills, right? Winning that division?
Yeah. 13 wins.
13 wins? All right, 13 wins. Jake, what do you think about the AFC?
Yeah, I have the Bills in that 14-15 win range, a bit higher than you guys. I think they're just far and wide one of the best teams in the
19
NFL,
wins.
right there with the Chargers. They're up there with them in that just elite class of football teams. Um, I have the Patriots being one of the biggest disappointments this year, finishing at the bottom of the division with the Jets at 5-12.
Yeah.
Really don't like the Patriots. I don't like what they're trying to do with the two tight ends, Hunter Henry, Johnny Smith. Neither of
Yeah,
them really did anything last
garbage.
year. The running backs, eh. Damien Harris is okay. Ramadre Stevenson, eh.
Mm.
Hey,
Defense,
Stevenson's gonna ball, but
defense
that,
is
that that won't save him.
eh. I
Yeah.
mean, I honestly think Bill Belichick's time is coming to an end. My hot take for them this year is he's retiring at the end of the year.
Wow.
I think if that 5-12 record does come to fruition, that does happen. Because I think Bill has enough self awareness to realize, yep, I have Josh McDaniels isn't there anymore. But he has coaches that are willing to step into that role for him, and he can retire off into the sunset as one of the best coaches of all time. I have the Dolphins, the last team there. I have the Dolphins finishing in a wild card spot of 10-7. I like the offense a lot for all the same reasons Smitty just mentioned. Tua, Waddle, great duo. Gesicki's an underrated tight end. Plethora of running backs at their disposal that they can just plug and play. Whoever's hot, let them run. And I think the defense, I mean, it's all right, but I think it's better than New England and it's better than the Jets, obviously. And I think it's good enough to kind of get them into that wild card spot above some of the teams from the AFC West.
Well,
I love how
So
I love how everybody's so passionate about these topics. Like this is the one topic like if people think they know. People think they know. They've got like the Gray's Book Sports Almanac, and they know what's gonna happen. They're like, "Oh, are you kidding me?"
we all think we got the right prediction stuff. Like I'm sitting here telling you how much I hate the Broncos. It's not just because I don't like Russ. I respect Dangerous Wilson. Respect the hell out of the guy, but Broncos will finish fourth in that division. I'm not talking about it anymore. AFC East, I got the Bills winning this on a long. They're gonna run away with it. The Bills are too good. They got fucking Josh Allen and Diggs and everybody else on that team. This team is a powerhouse. They're winning 13 games at least. This is a powerhouse team. They were a coin flip away from getting where they needed to be last year. They are a good team, and Josh Allen eventually will get over the hump and make it to the Super Bowl. He's going to the Super Bowl this year, most likely. I have the Bills going to the Super Bowl. Now the rest of the team. Now we need to look. Now we need to look into see who's making this team. Miami Niners are going to be a fun ass team to watch. You got Waddle, you got all the running backs, Raheem Mostert and everybody, and Tyreek Hill. This is a track team. They're all going to run a 4.3 40, and Tua's just going to say, fucking go down the field, and I'm throwing it to whoever's open. Whoever gets open first gets the touchdown. That is how this offense is going to work. They got good players on defense. They're going to go through some ups and downs because that doesn't always work. It's a rookie head coach. Miami Mike is smart. He's innovative. It's going to be a big loss for the Niners. I think we're going to see a lot of, stress on Kyle on the Niners because losing Mike McDaniel is big. He was one of the guys that helped with all the offensive installments and game planning. Miami Mike did a lot. He's going to be a great head coach. He's very smart, but he's going to go through some ups and downs. He's a rookie head coach. You're going to lose some games that you probably shouldn't. But I have Miami finishing second in this division. They'll win 10 wins. They'll probably make it to the wild card. Now, the last two spots, I think you give Belichick the benefit of the doubt. I know doesn't have the team that he typically you would think of a Belichick team, but he's Bill Belichick. He can game plan for anybody. This man can win 5 games just because he's Bill Belichick. He could probably step in at quarterback. So now the question is, do they have enough offensive firepower? Again, Smitty said they don't, and I kind of agree with that. They don't really have a true wide receiver one. Shout out to my man KB, but they don't have like a game-changing wide receiver. They got some decent players. They got a solid defense. They'll be a tough, competitive team because Belichick, but I think they win maybe 8 games. I don't think they make the playoffs. I think Mac Jones, he is what he is. He's not going to be this like elite, crazy quarterback, but he'll be good enough to win games and manage. There was a game last year with Mac Jones. We threw like 2 passes, and they won. That's right, 1 or 2 passes.
Yeah.
He won the game. I was like, "Are you kidding me?" Bill
That's when you
Belichick.
don't trust your quarterback.
That's like in the playoffs. we had 8 attempts and we won a playoff game. Like that's when you are a head coach and you know how to win without certain tendencies on your team, without certain players having an effect on a game. Like you can win without a quarterback if you're a great coach and you have a good scheme. And Bill Belichick did that. And then the Jets will bring up the rear. Not because they're a bad team. They have some good foundational pieces. Like you said, Smitty, they have a young team. They got some really good draft picks. I am excited about like Sauce Gardner and some of these guys that they drafted. But there's still a year away. I feel bad for Sauce. He's a good dude, but he just doesn't have that stability at quarterback. Zach Wilson is definitely a work in progress right now. He's going to be missing some games. Joe Flacco will start the games. I expect Joe Flacco to go out there and beat a lot of teams. No respect to Joe Flacco, Super Bowl champion. Put some respect on his name. But I think the Jets are going to win maybe 5 games. They'll be the last team on that division in that conference. But they're going to be competitive because they have good young talent. They have some very solid players to build around. So, yeah.
Did you hear what Joe Flacco said his kid said to him?
No, what did he say?
So Joe Flacco was helping his kid play baseball, and he was like, "You got to hold it here. If you don't hold it here, you're gonna miss it. If you want to be good, you got to do this." He goes, "Well, you're not good."
Oh,
Yikes.
wow. Yikes.
I love that he told that with humility, but can you believe his own son? He's like, "Dad, I've heard all about you. I've YouTubed your videos.
I've read about you all day." When Joe Flacco swore up and down he's an elite quarterback, he won a Super Bowl. At least retire. At least he could retire.
You're not good.
That's terrible. So next division, what do we got? We got the AFC South. Let's talk about the North at the end because it's a tough division. We'll do the South right now. So Smitty, speak on the AFC South. What do you think, my man?
I mean, I think the Jacksonville Jaguars will survive and be a little bit more potent than people think. I think Travis Etienne's a top 5 to 10 running back. I think that's he's got like a little bit of McCaffrey in him. He's going to be a 800, 700 yard rusher, 800, 900 yard receiver, get you double-digit touchdowns. This guy's going to be an absolute force. He's going to be a little miniature version of Christian McCaffrey. Christian Kirk is an okay wide receiver. They don't necessarily have the firepower to win a division or probably grab a wild card spot, but I think they'll be impressive enough that people are like, wow, this team can knock off, any team on any given Sunday. And Trevor Lawrence has got a reset year. Urban Meyer screwed up that whole situation. This is one of those, like, I don't agree when people say Trey Lance's rookie year is really this year. I disagree with that 100,000%. But I do believe you can kind of say that about Trevor Lawrence because the guy's starting all over from scratch. What a horrible situation. But I don't think they're, do I think they're going to win like more than 8 games or something? No. I also feel like the Titans are in some trouble because the Titans lost A.J. Brown. And I think that they're going to lean on Derrick Henry a ton. And Derrick Henry can't run 27, 28, 29 carries a game or he will break. If you don't give Derrick Henry 27, 28, 29 carries a game, he won't be Derrick Henry. So it's a double-edged sword. I think Derrick Henry doesn't have the year people are expecting. He's going to face more 8-man fronts and stack boxes. His yards per carry have gone down. I don't care if his production's gone up, his numbers have gone up, his volume's gone up to account for the fact that he is getting older. And he's at that drop-off age for running backs these days. And the fact that Tannehill's looking over his shoulder, it was the same thing with Aaron Rodgers. They drafted Aaron Rodgers' backup without telling him, but the only difference is he was nothing. And Aaron Rodgers was amazing. Tannehill, same thing happened to him. And this kid behind him, Malik Willis, you guys saw me on draft day. I was excited about this kid falling to every single one of the teams as he kept dropping them. Why is Pittsburgh not taking him at 20? Why is this kid not getting scooped up? Malik Willis will get in there, and Malik Willis will run the ball pretty well and just kind of make it an exciting young team that doesn't really have what it takes to win now. So those teams probably below 8 wins or whatever, somewhere around that range. I think the Texans actually surprised some people. And I think they're second in the division. Woo! And I think it's going to surprise a lot of people. Davis Mills is a really good quarterback. Dameon Pierce is an amazing running back. And they are a ways away from playoff contention. Like, I'm not saying they're making the playoffs. I'm not saying they're winning the division. I'm saying the Texans are going to surprise a lot of people because they have more talent on this team than people give them credit. It's easy to crap on them. because people don't know. They don't understand this is a new regime. Yeah, same owner, different GM. This GM knows what he's doing. They got rid of Watson in the middle of coming in and seeing Watson sitting there. They've got it. They've got talent. Davis Mills looks really, really good. They have Cooks. Nico Collins is really, really good. Brevin Jordan's really good. Damian Pierce is going to absolutely be fire. He's going to be a top 10 running back. This is going to be one of those years. But they're not going to contend. It's going to easily be the Colts who win the division. And if I had to say a win total, I would say 11 wins maybe. But I think the Texans at least tie for second. They don't win the wild card spot or anything like that. But I think this is going to be a crazy division.
Go ahead. I want to talk, and then I'll address. But what do you think about the AFC South, the Southern Division? What you thinking, Jake?
Yeah, it's a really boring division. Smitty just hyped it up a lot. So I honestly am not buying a lot of that hype. Jacksonville, yeah, Urban Meyer's gone. That's huge. That's a big step in the right direction. That was never going to work. Excited to see what Trevor Lawrence can do with a competent coaching staff. I think they do take a leap. I don't think it's going to be a big leap, but it's a leap. I'm high on Travis Etienne. Don't really like Kirk and Marvin Jones as their wide receivers. I think they picked up a new tight end who's pretty much average. Still don't like what they're doing on the defensive side of the ball. They're going to finish last in the division. Trying to remember. I believe I have the Texans making a leap also, not to the extent Smitty's talking about being second in the division, but like 6-7 wins. You know, Davis Mills is a good quarterback. I'm high on Damian Pierce. I think everyone's high on Damian Pierce. If you're not, obviously you're not paying attention to fantasy football. Brandon Cooks, as solid as a wide receiver when you can get, but outside of that, not really high on anyone else. And
good.
Their defense has a bunch of question marks in my eyes. So they're probably that 6-7 win range. I have the Colts missing the playoffs. I don't think Matt Ryan. Yeah, I don't think Matt Ryan is that much of an upgrade over Carson Wentz. I don't think he's that much of an upgrade over Carson Wentz. I mean, that wide receiver room is awful. No offense to Michael Pittman Jr. He's the only bright spot there, but is he really that bright? I don't know.
Wow. Okay.
I don't know. Like the other wide receivers there, Paris Campbell and Alec Pierce. Jonathan Taylor, they already said he's not going to get the same workload as he did last year. They're going to try to pass the ball more, and I don't think that's going to work out. I think Matt Ryan's done for. I appreciate him wanting to try to win on a winning roster for 1 or 2 seasons, but the Colts aren't it. And I have the Titans winning the division. I like Derrick Henry. They're not going to use him that much. They have Hassan Haskins, who I personally like as a backup running back there. I think he's going to get used more than people think. I like Robert Woods. People are forgetting they have Robert Woods everywhere. I like Traylon Burks. His camp hasn't been great, but I still like Traylon Burks. He's going to get a lot of reps, and I think he's going to progress with time. And the Titans have a pretty underrated defense. It was very underrated last year. They didn't really lose anybody, gain anybody over the offseason. They did lose Harold Landry today to an ACL, which is huge. And I mean, it's a loss, but I still think they have enough to win that division. And I think Ryan Tannehill is going to have a fire up his ass because everyone's talking about Malik Willis and everyone's talking about how he's coming for his job. And I think Ryan Tannehill does have the capability to shut everyone up.
Let's make a side bet on this. It doesn't have to be something crazy, Jake, but I'd love to put this on my board because Malik Willis has got that job. I'm not betting on this part, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was halftime of week 1.
Wow.
Willis.
No.
Division. You guys think about your bet. So,
yeah.
Okay. I know everybody thinks the Titans are going to be a big-time contender perennially. Tannehill's terrible. He's dog water, okay? Let me tell you something. Tannehill, he knows his job is in jeopardy. Smitty's right. Like, this guy is a douchebag. He sat there. I know he has a young quarterback coming in. They drafted a young quarterback. They're telling you, yeah, guess what? You're not good enough. We got the future for when your time is up. They got a future. And you know what? A lot of people give Jimmy Garoppolo crap. This man is a class act. He sat there and he took Trey Lance under his wing. And, now he's the backup and everything was, class act. This man, Tannehill, says, I don't give a shit about this guy, Malik Willis, whatever. I'm not going to. He didn't even, welcome him to the team, dude. So, Tannehill, karma's coming for that man. Malik Willis is coming for his job, and he's a good player. I like the kid. He's not gonna, if he starts, obviously rookie quarterback, you're not gonna win a lot of games, but he's gonna have them competing. I like him and Burks together. That's gonna be a future duo to be reckoned with. This man Henry, I like Henry. He's a great running back, but he is time for him to slow down. He's gonna break apart. He had his big injury last year. I hate to say it, but the treading on the tires is about to fall off. Like Smitty says, you get to a certain age, a certain amount of carries. They've been feeding this man with 200 carries a year or more. It's time for the wheels to fall off. And I love Henry.
400, 400, Raj.
400 carries, dude. Like, this man is a phenomenal player, but you could only take that much beating in the NFL. Like, that is a lot. He's going to break down. And the Tennessee Titans are going to be a team that everybody thinks is going to be good, but they're going to be a 7-win team. Book it right now. The Texans, I agree with Smitty. They are a team on the rise. Davis Mills, good young quarterback. They got Cooks. They got some great young players. They made some moves this offseason that people are not realizing. And the biggest one of them, Lovie Smith, that head coach, he's going to have this team fired and playing good. I love Lovie Smith. He's been a great coach in the NFL, and he's going to have these guys competing. They win 8 wins at least, I think, or maybe at most. I think Texans are a team that can win 8 wins and maybe push in this division. The other two teams you got, Jaguars, I think they win maybe 6-7 games. I don't think they're going to be a great team. They'll be competitive. They listen. The best thing that they did was getting rid of Urban Meyer. This man was a trash bucket. The guy was terrible. He broke that whole team apart. He is not a head coach in the NFL. Stick to college and doing whatever you got to do. This man ruined that team. He ruined Trevor Lawrence. And Trevor Lawrence has a lot of he's got to relearn everything. He's got to kind of come back in and have a new season where he resets his mind mentally. I don't know if he really learned anything. that was a very bad year for Trevor Lawrence, right? But they went and spent every single dollar they had this offseason. So they got some players. They're going to be competitive. Trent Baalke went and spent every single damn dollar they had and put it on. This man gave Christian Kirk the biggest bag, and he set the wide receiver market. Like, that was the craziest move. The Jaguars are going to be competitive, but I don't think they win a lot of games, maybe 6 games. I honestly think that the Colts are going to run away with this division. Matt Ryan is a massive upgrade over Carson Wentz. You got the best running back in the league, Jonathan Taylor. That defense is so good. And they got Michael Pittman, underrated. I think this team goes and 11 wins. The Colts are an 11-win team. That defense is going to be phenomenal. That defense is great. DeForest Buckner and everybody else on that team. And Matt Ryan with Jonathan Taylor, it's going to be fun to watch. That's going to be a smack mouth, pound you in the face type team. And I think the Colts are running away with that division. That's
Derrick Henry has over 900 carries in the last 2.5 seasons.
That's a lot.
You can't recover from that. There are a couple stats that are almost it's like basically it's science, bro, as Jesse Pinkman would say. It's freaking science. This guy, Derrick Henry, ran the ball over 400 times if you include the playoffs the year prior to last year. And he also had a 2,000-yard season. The 2,000-yard season curse alone was going against him. You run for 2,000 yards, you break that at a halfway point, or you just have half the production cut and you just drop off and fall off the face of the earth. You have a 400 carry season individually, and you fall off the face of the earth. He had both of them in the same season, and he broke. As predicted, he would break. It was the stats told you. And so for him to rebound from that with the plate in his foot, I don't care how good he looks running up a grassy hill or balancing on rubber bands and doing push-ups. He did those things last year too, and he got hurt. So those things don't keep
rubber bands.
You know what I mean? Like,
listen, his training is definitely
it's amazing.
World, but you know what? At some point, you carry the ball that many times, your body can't handle it. You're going to break down. He's getting older. Running back is the toughest division in the NFL because you take the biggest beating on your body, and it's the shortest lived position in the NFL. Like, these guys have a short life.
27 years old, you're done. Yeah, that's when you drop off. It used to be 30. When you turned 30 about 10 years ago, you turned 30. That was, if you had it left in the tank, your last elite season, and then it's complete decline. Now it's 27 years old. That's the drop off year. If you turn 27 and you enter that season, it's like, oh my God, do you have it left? Maybe, I don't know. That's the way it is. It's crazy. And we talked about this with Eric Davis. What is making that happen? And Eric Davis said a lot of what I thought was happening too. So it was nice to hear him confirm it, that it's just a consistent piling up of a tougher, harder hitting game. And there's no position in any sport that takes more abuse to the lower body. And when you run, get hit harder and harder and harder. Players are hitting harder. They're bigger. They're stronger at a younger age. By the time you get to college, you've got so much more of a beating on your knees than you did 10 years ago. That's why you can only last till about 27, 28 years old if you're used, properly. And then if you don't get used properly, like Derrick Henry, people say he didn't get used early on. Doesn't matter. When you hit a certain age, your body starts to deteriorate different ways. So yeah. Henry maybe has the 1 year left. But
year left. He's so good. Like Henry's
maybe, but
it's no disrespect. The guy's phenomenal. What he does is incredible. He's a tank out there. The only guy that's ever been able to sustain that much of a career running the way he does and that physical style, Frank Gore. Like that's why Frank Gore was so good, because he was consistent over every year, right? But Derrick Henry, that injury last year, that was huge injury. Like he's gonna be coming back off a torn ACL. The other guy that was able to do it, Adrian Peterson. That guy was a monster.
Henry torn ACL. Henry had the
foot.
Broke foot.
Oh, that's right, the foot.
He broke the Jones fracture right here.
He had a broken bone. That's right. But regardless, a big injury for
Why
running
do you
back.
have a foot?
It was still a big injury.
Why do you have a foot? Like, why do you just have?
I do medical breakdowns on my show pretty much on the daily, bro. We talk about all the ligaments, the damage. I'm the best deep fake doctor on the internet. So. So he broke the Jones fractures right here. And the problem with that
it was a broken foot. You're right. They
had to put a plate in there because it's such a tender place and it doesn't heal well. There's not good blood flow. It is a really, really bad fracture, the Jones fracture.
It's bad. That's going to hinder him. And again, all the pressure on his body and his joints, it's going to wear and tear him. It's tough. It's Derrick Henry. I love the guy, but they got to take it easy on the guy. Okay. Anyways, moving on. Last division, was it the AFC North? This is a very competitive division. A lot of controversy in the division because you had my man Deshaun Watson. That was the Browns are crazy. The Steelers, they got some players that are really good on that team. Defense is very stout. TJ Watt, he had an injury last week. I don't know the status of him right now. If he misses significant time, Steelers are going to be hurt for that. But they do have a great defense. Then you got the defending AFC champions, Joe Burrow and the Bengals. Great team. And then who else is in that division? You got one more team.
Baltimore.
Baltimore, that's right, with Lamar Jackson, who wants his contract. They still haven't given him his contract. He needs to go get an agent. But what do you guys think about this division? Jake, what do you think about the AFC North division?
Yeah, I'm going to start from the top down here. I have the Ravens winning the division. I think Lamar Jackson's going to get his bag before the season starts, and he's going to play every penny's worth. I think he's going to return to that MVP form that we've seen in the past. He's healthy. He's ready to go. All of their running backs are, I believe, ready to go. J.K. and Gus and everyone back there. No.
Gus Edwards isn't going to play. He's not even close to ready. J.K. Dobbins has already been ruled most likely not ready to. Either he's not going to play week 1 or he can't shoulder even close to a full workload. So they brought in Kenyon Drake.
Yes, sir.
And then Mike Davis.
Yeah.
And running back was
interesting.
Sorry, go ahead.
I'm still not worried about it. I think Rashad Bateman's going to have a breakout year. Mark Andrews, probably the best tight end of the game now. I don't think it's unfair to say that. And I really like their defense. Moving down the list, I have all 3 of the other teams aren't making the playoffs in my eyes. So I'm going to start with the Bengals. I think they're going to have a case of the Super Bowl hangover. I think Joe Burrow's going to get figured out. I mean, if you look at that playoff stretch last year, did Joe Burrow really do anything to wow you? Did he really do anything that was like, wow, this guy's going to be the truth? No. he's a game manager. That's what he is, and he's surrounded by extreme talent. So the game manager gets lifted to be like this artificial superstar that he's really not. I think Jamar Chase is not going to be able to replicate the season he had last year. T. Higgins probably going to take some of that away from him. And I'm still not a fan of the defense, even though they did ball out during that stretch last year. And they did make improvements to the O-line, which I like. Joe Burrow's not going to die this year. Still, Super Bowl hangover. I think teams are going to figure him out. Steelers, they have.
Quick, what'd you say about Jamar Chase, real quick?
He's not going to have the same season he had his last. No,
And
he's not going to replicate that.
Oh my God!
He's
Don't
not going
say
to
it
replicate that.
don't say it again.
Jamar Chase.
You know when someone says something, and it's so like uncomfortable, it makes you uncomfortable. You're not even the one doing it. Like, I'm uncomfortable right now.
I mean, you know, when I have a hot take, it's hot. You can't handle it. You can't handle it.
This is
Boiling
spicy.
hot.
I'm uncomfortable right now.
I can leave if you want.
Keep going. Steelers next.
Oh, no. Real quick, though, Jamar Chase is not going to replicate the year he had last year. Yeah. Should I just keep saying it until Smitty throws up? I think that'd be very entertaining.
I already spoiled it.
Steelers, everyone's on the Kenny Pickett train. I'm on the Mitch Trubisky train. I want Mitch Trubisky to succeed in Pittsburgh, but everyone's pointing towards Kenny Pickett being that guy, and that's great for him. I'm worried about Najee and his foot. Apparently he had a Liz Frank injury in his foot. That's never a good thing. Don't know how the wide receiver core is going to do whoever the quarterback ends up being, whether it be Mitch or Kenny. Defense is good. I don't think it's good enough to get them a playoff spot, though. Going to the Browns, if Deshaun Watson's suspension was only 6, 7, 8 games, they could be in that wild card race. But since it's 11, I don't think they're going to be able to make up that ground there that he's missing. I don't think Jacoby Brissett is going to be that quarterback that helps you win games. So kind of have the Browns finishing around 7, 8, maybe 9 wins. And then who's the last team? Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Cincinnati, Cleveland. I went through all of them already. Yeah, we just had the meltdown because Jamar Chase is not going to replicate the same year as last year.
Rank your 4 teams in the AFC North.
Yeah. Ravens, then Bengals, then Steelers, then Browns. All 3 of those teams are going to be in like the 8, 9 win range. Maybe 7, 8, 9 wins. Yeah, only the Ravens are coming out of that division.
Browns finished 4th. You got the Browns finishing 4th.
Yeah, it would probably come down to what the tiebreakers are, but yeah, you could make a case for any of them.
I mean, I could buy a Super Bowl hangover. But the thing I can't buy is the Jamar Chase take. But hey, to each their own. This is what makes this fun. Smitty, speak on it.
Yeah, okay. So let me start at the bottom so I don't have to address these later. Pittsburgh, when Pickett gets in there, they're actually going to look pretty good. They're not going to win a wild card spot, but they're going to look a lot better. They could be like an 8-win team with Pickett in there. I think Najee Harris, the whole thing works pretty well with Pickett in there. Pickens is going to be phenomenal. Browns are going to look awful. Browns are going to fall apart. They're not going to get it done. A lot of drama, a lot of trauma. The Watson stuff's not even over yet. Watson could face more punishment if more cases come up. The statute of limitations is in March. So if like 5 new cases get filed against him in civil, then you're back at the NFL independently investigating each one, which more discipline can be handed down. This isn't a blanket discipline for anything he's ever done in the history of time. These are separate like situations. So that's all said. Okay, those 2 teams don't stand a chance. The Bengals win this division and pretty easily. Joseph Cigar Smoking Burrow is a monster. This guy is arguably 1 to 3 in the NFL for quarterbacks. This guy is 1 to 3, not 3 or 4, Jake. 1 to 3. 1 to 3. I'm better ahead of Mahomes this year. He's going to absolutely light the league on fire. He's got 2 of the best wide receivers in the league. He's got Jamar Chase, who's going to catch 15 to 18 touchdowns. Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson are head and shoulders above the rest of the wide receivers in Cooper Kupp. Head and shoulders ahead of the rest of the wide receivers in the NFL. Jamar Chase is going to absolutely annihilate. He was a rookie. No one's even giving Jamar Chase room to even get better. No one's even giving Joe Burrow room to get better. These
He's
two are
not
going
going
to
to
take
get better.
forward. They're going to take a big step forward. Joe Burrow is an absolute monster. This guy came out of the womb smoking a cigar, bro. He knows what he's doing. He's a certain.
Hold on a second. If your only argument to back up Joe Burrow being a fantastic quarterback is he smokes a fucking cigar.
Cigar smoking Joe Burrow.
I could go smoke a cigar right now. Does that make me a badass?
You weren't
No,
born
it
cigar.
doesn't.
Look, listen, Jake. Let's get to the facts, okay? Let's get to the facts. Joe Burrow is about to light the league on fire. He's got T. Higgins, who you just said you like T. Higgins, right? You like T. Higgins more than Jamar.
Going to take away from Jamar Chase this year.
They're two of the best. This is one of the best duo wide receivers in the NFL. You haven't even talked about Mixon. Mixon's going to be efficient. They improved the offensive line. They just went to the Super Bowl in an improbable climb where he was recovering from his torn ACL. You don't think he's going to have a better year having that a year in the rear view, getting better? You don't think he improves at all? You don't see Joe Burrow taking a step at all? You think he's going to take a step backwards? Jamar Chase is going to be an absolute monster. Jamar was a rookie. Jamar was inconsistent. Imagine what Jamar does when he's consistent, because every rookie is going to be hot and cold. Rookies hit a rookie wall because they're used to a short college season. He sat out. He didn't even have a college season. So he had hit like 2 rookie walls. He went for a big stretch of being inconsistent, and people paint him as a guy that's going to continue to be. Like, rookies don't come in and knock that wall down and come in and finally have an amazing year. Jamar Chase is going to be an absolute monster, bro. He is arguably, him and Jefferson in the future. Like, Kupp is there right now, but we're talking about like dynasty. If you're ranking these two wide receivers from an NFL perspective or fantasy, they are the two head and shoulder 1 and 2 wide receivers in the NFL. Once Cooper Kupp's dropping off in a year or two, it's not even close. It's not even close. The Bengals win this division, and they win it very, very in healthy fashion. Now, this is where you're probably going to really lose it. I don't think the Ravens make the playoffs. I don't think they grab. Well, first of all, they'd have to grab the last wild card spot, so it's not that spicy. If I just said the Bengals win the division, they would have to literally grab one of the 3 wild card spots, which the Chiefs are going to grab one of them, or in your case, the Raiders, or in my case, the Broncos. So that means there's one wild card spot up for grabs between the Raiders, the Ravens, the Miami Dolphins. So it's not that spicy to say they won't make the playoffs if they don't win the division. But here's what I think. Lamar Jackson is going to have a disappointing season, and that's not even spicy, because Lamar Jackson had 2 disappointing seasons in a row. 2 disappointing seasons in a row. He got injured last year, disappointed entirely. He was a bust the entire first half of the season prior. Lamar Jackson finished outside the top 10 quarterbacks 2 years in a row. Lamar Jackson was like number 13 or 14. For the first entire 8 games of the season in 2019. He was like number 14. He was benchable in fantasy football through the first 8 games of the 2019 season. In 2020. In 2021, he missed time and busted. He finished as like QB 14. The guy hasn't been a top 10 quarterback for 2 years. On top of that, he loses his number 1 wide receiver in Hollywood Brown. So you rapture him from the team. Now you're relying on Bateman, he has 500 yards and 1 touchdown to his name. Yeah, he's obviously the breakout guy for sure, right? 500 yards and a touchdown. And then you got, on top of that, you got an all ACL running back room. They're all torn ACLs. Gus the Bus, J.K. Dobbins, they got Kenyon Drake, who doesn't even know the playbook because they're starting running back potentially walking into week 1. On top of that, Lamar Jackson gained 18 pounds. 18 pounds. He's going to play at 18 pounds heavier. That's not going to help him. It might absorb some hits when he's upright, but imagine hitting the floor over and over and over, 18 pounds heavier. It's going to lead to injury. He's injury prone to begin with. He's running 155 times per season, and the Ravens announced they're going to go more run heavy than ever with an all ACL running back room, which means that Lamar's running more than ever. He was on pace for over 190 attempts last year before he got hurt. Lamar Jackson's going to get hurt. They're going to hurt him. He's 18 pounds heavier, going to run more. He's going to get hurt.
He's been eating with Smitty.
Tyler Huntley's coming in.
He's been eating smooth food with you. Okay, so rank your teams real quick, Smitty, in the AFC North, and I'm going to go over. Man, this guy is heated. This was the spiciest division of all. What do you say again? Rank them.
The Bengals.
Does.
Bengals, and then honestly, yeah, I mean the Ravens are going to finish second because I think the Steelers and Browns are just going to be trying to find their way, but they're not making the Super Bowl the playoffs. They're not making the playoffs. Okay. So it's the Bengals win the division easily. Bengals easily win the division. What?
Okay. So the Bengals win. How many wins they got?
At least 12.
At least 12, and then you got the Ravens number 2 with what, like 8 wins maybe?
Yeah, 8-9 wins. It depends on when Lamar could
okay.
up.
And after that, the last 2 teams bringing up the rear. You said you had the Browns and the Steelers.
Yeah, Steelers ahead of the Browns. Steelers ahead of the Browns. Browns have a tough year. It's a dark cloud hanging over that whole situation.
I love it. So there's definitely some controversy in this. Like, okay, I got a lot to say on this. So I get it. Jamar Chase, you're not a big fan of him, Jake. That's blasphemous. Whatever. Lamar Jackson, Smitty, you're not a big Lamar guy. I get it. Fantasy, whatever the case. Put some respect on Lamar Jackson. This guy was a former MVP. A former MVP. Listen, last season, team was in shambles. There's a lot of issues. There's injuries. And Lamar Jackson, they almost made the playoffs despite of all the issues. Because you know what? They have Harbaugh at coach. This man, Harbaugh, is a phenomenal coach. He's not going to let them slump again. This is a fucking great coach. Excuse my language. Harbaugh is a great coach. Both of the Harbaughs. But this man is great. And they have a phenomenal defense. They got one of the best tight ends in the league. I'm not going to call him the best because I got George Kittle on my team. But Andrews is a beast. And now, I'm going to tell you what, man. Lamar Jackson, he wants a contract this season. He's got to go out there and play like he wants it. He's got to have an MVP-type season. Whether they pay him now or later, he's got to go out there and perform. And even if he doesn't get paid with the Ravens and he ends up going somewhere else, regardless of whatever happens, he needs to go out there and play like the MVP Lamar Jackson type guy. So Lamar's going to have a great season. They're making the playoffs. Don't even get it twisted. They're winning 10 games this season. I don't know if they win the division, and I love the Bengals, and I think they're going to have a good season. I think they win maybe 10 games this season. Jamar Chase is the force. You know, you got T. Higgins. I think they're a great team. But let me tell you something. The Super Bowl hangover is real because let me tell you something. They're going to be good, but they're going to lose some games because they're going to have a target on their back. I love Joe Shiesty, Joe Burr, whatever you want to call him. He's going to lose some games that, you know what, people are going to be gunning for him. They're going to put a target on his back. And when you're a defending AFC champion, the teams are going to study you. They're going to look at your film. They're going to copy you. They're going to come for your neck no matter how good he is. I like Joe Burrow. He's a winner. When people talk about he wins games, Joe Burrow wins football games. He knows how to be calm, cool, collected in the end of a football game, right? Like, he's got that Joe Cool vibe, right? Like, he can win a game. I like Joe Burrow. And I know you said he didn't do anything exciting for you, Jake, in the playoffs. He won the fucking football games. That's what he did. And he was a...
I wouldn't say he won them himself. It was more the defense kind of bailing
him
out.
But
it was Jamar Chase, Jake.
He made some clutch drives for that team, man. Joe Burrow, ice in the veins, man. Joe Burrow, ice in the veins, clutch city. I think the Bengals... I don't know if they win this division. I kind of want to say the Ravens are going to win this division. I know it's crazy.
They are going.
Ravens winning this division, Smitty. They'll win 10 or 11 games, and the Bengals will probably win one less game. I like the Bengals, but they're going to have a hangover, and they'll lose a few games. They're going to come out a little punch drunk after, to start the season. They might start a little slow. And then after that, it's a toss-up between the Browns and the Steelers. The Browns, how many games are they going to win without Watson? I couldn't tell you. They got a good running back situation with Chubb, but who's the other running back they got? What's his name? Kareem Hunt. He doesn't even want to play for the team. He's pissed off. They got a good defense, but the Browns are the Browns. They always find a way to screw everything up. They're not making the playoffs. We don't know how many wins they're going to make it until Watson comes back. And let's say they have like 5 wins. Are they going to win every single game to close out the season? Probably not. So they're not going to make the playoffs just for the fact of who the hell knows how good they're going to be without Watson. And then when Watson comes back, he's going to be rusty. He hasn't played football in a very long time. You can't expect Watson to just go out there and throw 5 touchdowns a game when he comes back. He's going to be a little rusty. So his first meaningful game in a couple of years, I don't expect him to be like, oh my God, he's so good. So the Browns temper expectations. They got good defense, but defense only gets you so far. You got to put points on the board. And the Steelers, I couldn't tell you who their quarterback's going to be. They both suck to me. Pickett and Trubisky? Come on, man. You can't be serious that you're excited about Trubisky. Najee Harris is great, but he does have an issue right now with the injury. And if that becomes anything significant, Najee Harris injury, that's big time. That's serious. And TJ Watt. Is TJ Watt going to be healthy? I'm scared that TJ Watt's injury is going to linger through the season. Steelers are going to be last place in that division. That's it, bottom line. That's my take on it.
Put a foot away.
Can I mention something real quick and just say that if the Ravens do turn it around, I can picture with Tyler Huntley. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not saying he's better. I'm saying that I could see this team rallying around Tyler Huntley. I also love Isaiah Likely, the backup tight end, is an absolute monster. 6'4", 240-pound monster. They need to get him on the field. And if you're in fantasy, you play Dynasty, you need to grab Isaiah Likely right now. But I could see Tyler Huntley coming in, and I'm just saying rallying the team to some incredible finish. So if there is a silver lining at the end of this, for some reason, in my crazy mind, I picture it that way.
Crazy, Smitty. You're crazy. You're crazy. I don't know. We're all going to be wrong at the end of the day. So I have...
Probably, yeah.
I'm going to... So my final ranking on this division, Ravens win 11 wins. They win the division. I think the Bengals win 10 games. They're second. They make the wild card. And then bringing up the rear, I got the Browns maybe winning 8 games. And then the Steelers probably win 7, 8 games. It's going to be close. And I think Trubisky is definitely better than Big Ben in the last few years. Big Ben was that he needed to go. Kenny Pickett's a rookie. You can't expect this man to do anything much, even if he comes in. I think he can be solid on this team because he fits the system. But again, the Najee Harris injury kind of scares me, and the TJ Watt injury scares me. If they're nothing serious, don't worry about it. But again, I don't think Mitch Trubisky is going to be a winner. I think they're good enough for 7, 8 wins. That's it. So I don't know. NFC.
Hey, Jake.
What's up?
Jake, can we do some kind of Jamar Chase bet? Like pick somebody you think will outscore him.
Okay. I would have to think on that. I can't give you an educated guess right now.
Okay. I want to do something.
Next time we go live, I'll have someone and we can make the bet.
Okay. I think that'll be fun.
Yeah.
I think I appreciate you. I hope you know that.
Oh yeah, it's all love. This wouldn't be fun if we didn't have opposing takes. I mean, that's what makes it fun. So
I'm just yelling at your take.
Yeah, no, we're
this
good.
is one thing I would say. As Flood says, he says Tomlin's a hell of a coach. That is true. So Tomlin's the wild card, and he'll keep that team competitive. I do got to give Tomlin a lot of respect. I got to put a lot of respect on his name because he's right. Mike Tomlin is a phenomenal coach. So regardless if they make it to the playoffs or not, Tomlin will have this team competing. I will say that.
Yeah, and Najee's foot, I don't think there's anything to it because they wouldn't have put him out there in a meaningless preseason game if he still had a Liz Frank injury. Most likely it was something to where, this is my take on it anyway, that they the Liz Frank injury is right here where it's really sore, almost feels like a foot separation. But my guess is he had soreness there, and it was the beginnings of a potential Liz Frank injury because it was the lowest grade of them, and that lowest grade has different levels to it too. It's not like there's an exact grade 1, exact grade 2. So I'm pretty sure that my guess is that when you ask a player like why are you so rusty and they come up with an excuse like, well, I had a Liz Frank injury, I think he was telling reporters that, and the fact that he was out on the field, I think he's fine. So people are freaking out about that, but I don't believe that he currently has any sort of Liz Frank injury. I don't think so.
I got a guy for you, Smitty. I was thinking while you were ranting there. It's Stephon Diggs. Is that a fair bet?
Those guys are like first round wide receivers. You're basically crapping on Jamar Chase. You got to come up with a better receiver than that. because you're
So
basically saying
basically, you want me to pick someone that's going to suck on purpose so you win the bet. Is what
no,
I'm
but
hearing.
you're trying to be bold by saying Jamar Chase isn't going to be near as good, and you're trying to give me the third or fourth wide receiver in the league. Like you gotta give me something, like dig a little deeper on that. Like even Debo's like at the right at the 12 or 13 or 14 overall fantasy football player. So it's not like that's even a big reach. Like if you think Jamar Chase is going to bring it, like you got to bring someone else up.
I'm thinking. I don't know if I'm going to be able to come up with something. My initial thought was Jerry Jeudy or Cortland Sutton, one of those guys.
How about either one? Either one outscores.
Either one.
Yeah, I'll give you both. Not combined, but maybe almost combined. But I'll give you either one. If either one outscores Jamar Chase, what are we doing? It doesn't have to be like the Jersey. Let's do something where we can do it on the live. How about we tell the other person on the lot? We do a story post saying how sorry we are and that we're ashamed of ourselves.
I could do that. I was gonna say I'm not about to eat a hot chip because watching you go through that made me ill.
So Jake Chase versus Bronco.
Yeah.
Wide receivers. Okay. Story post.
Anyone else?
Story post. And it'll be like an apology post. Like, I'm ashamed of myself. Smitty was right. Or I'll say Jake was right. I'm ashamed of myself. It's just going to be like a shame post. Like a shame.
Your slut shame. Yeah. No doubt. I can do that.
Okay.
Jerry Jeudy breakout and then coming.
Done. You can have either wide receiver, bro. All right, fellas.
Yeah, it's 11 over here, so probably hit the hay soon. Yeah.
That was a fun night.
Good stuff. Dude, I'm finally back. It's been months. I'm glad to be back. Tonight was fun. I'm
good to have
a bunch more.
This was the best live we've had in a long time, so appreciate you for coming in. We'll talk to you again soon. I wish the Niners were playing the Packers this year in the regular season so we can do a preview show, but maybe we'll see you in the playoffs.
I really hope not, but just because we lose every time we play you. But hey, if the Packers make it to the playoffs, I'll be happy because I'm setting my expectations fairly low for them this year, and I think it's justified. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. Football's a week away.
It is. It's a week away.
The Thursday night game will be wrapping up this time next week. Gotta love it.
I can't wait. So, okay, final question. We didn't say it. So, final question. We sat here. We predicted all these teams, all this stuff. Super Bowl. Tell me your Super Bowl prediction, Jake, before you leave.
Oh, it's going to be very basic, and I apologize for that. It's going to be the either the Bills and the Rams or the Chargers and the Rams.
Chargers, Rams. Wow. Who do you have winning it all?
It's going to be either one of the AFC teams, either the Bills or the Chargers. Yeah.
Make a final decision. Got to make one pick.
I'm going to go with my boy Josh Allen then. Bills Mafia. Bill's going to win it all. He's going to get them there. The curse will be over. They'll finally win one. It'll be glorious. Tables will be smashed everywhere.
Hey, if they win the Super Bowl, I'm smashing some tables.
I'll smash a table. Yeah, 100%.
Smitty?
I don't know if you guys know this about me. I never really speak on it, but Buffalo's, that's where half my family's from. So they're kind of like a family. Yeah, I don't talk about it a lot, but.
Low key, now you can claim them if they win the Super Bowl. Smitty gonna be that.
I'm still,
I love it.
The reason I'm saying that is because I'm picking the Chargers. I'm being unbiased here. I want the Bills to win. Of course I do, but I believe that I can separate myself from it. The Chargers are going to win the Super Bowl. I firmly believe that. Joe Burrow and Herbert and Josh Allen are all going to be gunning for that MVP, prize. But I think it's going to be Herbert. Herbert's going to take a big step forward. I want it to be Buffalo, to be honest, but either way, it's going to be Joe Burrow, Herbert, or Josh Allen in the Super Bowl, facing off against either, I would say, the Rams or the Niners.
Did he just He just said that. He only said that because he's in a 49er chat right now.
No, I've said that all off
Smitty's
season.
a Niner fan. We know Smitty.
No,
Low key.
Oh.
I'm objective. I think it's going to be the Niners, the Rams, or I just don't think the Packers. I think the Packers have a shot. I'm not saying they don't, but
no, they don't.
But I think it wouldn't surprise me if it was. If I had to pick one team, if I'm going to pick one team that's going to. Dallas. I think Dallas.
What?
I gotta go.
How is it?
I'm done. I'm done.
How is it that crazy? Dallas. Listen. Dallas or the Eagles. I'm going to give you all the teams. Dallas or the Eagles. One of those two teams will be the third best team in the NFC. Dallas or the Eagles, whichever one wins the division.
Okay.
And you know, everyone in here is going to laugh at it like they. Do you know what you guys? You know how hard you laughed at me when I said the Bengals would win the division? Do you remember that? Does anybody in here remember that? Because admit it, last year when I said it, everybody in here ripped me apart because I said the Bengals will win the division. The Bengals smoked everyone, and now where's everybody at? That's what I'm talking about. I talked that up all offseason long, that the Bengals will win the division, and everybody said what a joke that was. So give me a break.
I think we all just got to go to bed. We all just got to go to bed, man.
So you're saying it's going to be the Chargers over the Cowboys in the Super Bowl?
No, you guys aren't listening to a word I'm saying. I'm saying it's either going to be the. No, I said the Rams, the Niners, the Cowboys, and the Eagles are the four best teams.
Pick one team, Smitty.
I know, but I'm giving you my four. I know, but I'm giving you my four, and I'm going to cut it down.
Okay, just give me your
final answer. Well, because I was giving you the three teams on the
I get it.
Chargers versus the Rams. Chargers versus the Rams. The Niners make it to the NFC Championship game though with Trey Lance.
What happened to the Dallas Cowboys?
I said they would be one. You guys, it's so funny. You guys hear what you want to hear. I blatantly said that I think you're going to have four teams: Cowboys, Eagles, Rams. And the Niners are going to be the top four teams. But everybody doesn't hear it. They just hear the Dallas Cowboys in these rooms.
You said I could
No.
Cowboys.
Replay.
You just listed them as a team you could see in the Super Bowl.
I was naming the four teams from the NFC. And I was telling you who the three teams that were going to be in the AFC. But no, as soon as I jump to Cowboys, everyone in here starts saying, oh, he's talking about the Cowboys winning the Super Bowl. He's talking about the Cowboys winning the Super Bowl. It's absolutely not what I said. Go watch the replay. I'm breaking down the entire landscape here.
Maybe I heard you wrong. Maybe I had selective here.
Yeah.
So you have the Chargers beating the Rams in the Super Bowl. Is that what you have?
I wanted to paint the picture of who I think the toughest teams are on each side. And I think the Cowboys will be up in the mix, and the Eagles will be up in the mix. One of the two teams will be up in the mix. But ultimately, it also depends who faces who. You know, like we don't know if the Niners might face off against the Rams early on in the playoffs, and then who do you have? You have to have somebody going up against the winner of those two. So I'm gonna say that the Cowboys or Eagles, one of the two, will finish third in the NFC and be the third best team, which is going to sound crazy to everybody that said it was crazy the Bengals are going to win the division. It's fine. I'm used to it. But I think the Rams and Niners is going to be a tough battle. I might go back and forth on that. I'm admitting it now. I might flip-flop on that because you can't be locked in anything right now. But I think the Niners are going to give the Rams a big, hard push. One injury, Trey Lance being as good as I think he could be right away and having some amazing run where everything's flowing well, you're going to have me saying the Niners are going to go to the Super Bowl. It's too early to lock anything in place, but I absolutely believe the Rams and the Niners are going to be the top two teams with the Eagles or Cowboys pushing to be a third.
Yeah, it makes sense because at the end of the day, NFC is going to have a playoff team. So, I mean, they got a chance in the playoffs. I mean, every division gets a chance to make – so okay. So final answers. And thanks for being on the live tonight, Smitty. It's always a good time with you.
No, I'm not mad at any. I'm just – I'm not. You guys rile me up for sure. I know, but it's in a good way.
Smitty, let me – all right, we got to finish. This has been a long life. So I have the Bills and the Chargers in the AFC Championship. Herbert versus Josh Allen. These two guys are going to duke it out. They're probably going to duke it out for MVP this season. I think Josh Allen edges out the Chargers. It's going to be a hell of a game. I got the Bills going. Bills Mafia, table sales through the roof, going to the Super Bowl. I know I'm a homer. I know I'm going to say the Niners, but the Niners, like, this NFC is not strong. The Niners can make it to the Super Bowl with this team. This is a Super Bowl team. I think we will probably play. I mean, I think we might play the Packers. I know you think I'm crazy, Jake. The NFC's dog water, man. This NFC is crap. I don't know what Bucks are going to do. I don't know if Tom Brady's going to be able to mentally be ready for the season. If he gets divorced with Giselle, count that team out of the that's going to be a lot of mental futility for the Bucks. They got a good team. I'm not sold on the Bucks this year. Matt Stafford, this man's arm is going to fall off by the midseason. I'm not counting on that.
We don't know that, though. We don't know that.
He's not making it through the season. That's my hot take. And then I got my man, the Cowboys. Come on, they're soft. The Eagles might have a chance to make it to the championship game.
But I wasn't even putting them in the I wasn't putting them. I was saying they're the third, fourth best. I'm trying to narrow it down.
Yeah, I think those are our third best team. But hold on, let me finish. So I got the Niners and the Green Bay Packers. I know it's crazy to say the Packers.
Stop. Don't give me hope.
But Aaron Rodgers, man. Aaron Rodgers he's an MVP. Like, he's going to get this team to the championship, and then the Niners are going to crush his soul. One more time. And it's going to be Niners versus Bills. Monkey off the back. Niners win the Super Bowl, obviously.
I don't want to play you in the playoffs.
I know you don't.
Take it back.
I can't wait, man.
Also,
Jake, you're not making the FC Championship. Don't worry.
Okay. At least, yeah. Just get us out in the wild card or something, please.
Don't worry about it, Jake.
I'm gonna worry about it. This is my incoming
it's
future.
Wide open.
It's not gonna happen. Don't worry about it. You'll be okay.
The NFC is wide open, baby.
Jimmy G will be a free agent next year. You can bring him in then, okay?
No. I would probably deactivate my page if that happens, if I'm being totally honest with you. I would have no desire to cover the NFL or watch the NFL ever again. Then you can quote that. You could record that.
How do you think Niner fans feel?
I would be done. They have actually, I know we want to wrap up here, but I like Jimmy Garoppolo, the new deal, the backup role. It's solid. It's saving you guys money. It's a solid, one of the best backups to have in the NFL. I mean, it's a good play if Trey isn't him, if Trey somehow, God forbid, gets injured. Like, you have a good backup there, and it's a very reasonable contract, and he can be gone next year. So that's my take on that. I wish he wasn't on the 49ers so I could like you guys as a team more, but that might have to wait till next year.
Maybe. You never know. Jimmy might stay next year. Who knows, man? Who knows? Appreciate the badge, Kyle. You never know. Clipboard Jimmy might be staying for a little bit longer. Who knows at this point? You can never predict Shanahan and Lynch. If Jimmy stays next year, Smitty's done for life, man.
If he stays next year, another year, and you guys aren't calling for Shanahan's job, I'll lose.
What if we win the Super Bowl this year?
With Jimmy playing? Let's not even talk about it. No, get rid of he's not a part of it. Like, I mean, no, get him out of the
part of it. He's gonna mentor Trey.
I don't know. We'll talk about it then. All
right. Anyways, this is a phenomenal show. I'll try to clip it and put it on YouTube, man. You guys have a good night. I know it's late. Appreciate you, Jake, for staying up.
Yeah, no problem. I'll be on over the course of the whole season. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully, I can be right and about the Jamar Chase. I'm not going to repeat it because I don't want Smitty to go to bed sick tonight. But yeah,
it's like when someone says the world's flat, Jake. It doesn't bother me.
Okay. Well, you kind of seemed bothered when I said it. You actually seemed quite a bit bothered when I said it. So it
was confusing, I admit. But
I hope you have a nightmare about it tonight.
Man, I'm done. You guys cracked me up when you guys were going at it. I just sat back. You guys were just fired up. I was loving it. I was like, oh my God, dude.
Like, the sun's not hot.
You had me hot and bothered. I was laughing, man. It was crazy.
Joe Burrow's a glorified game manager. And on that
note,
goodbye, guys. I'll talk to you guys later. Joe Burrow's not very good at quarterback. Goodbye.
Oh my God! Wow!
Raj,
Wow!
can I announce something real quick before we go? I'm
Yeah.
actually going live on YouTube, not tonight, but some point this week, to do every year I pick a player to do awareness of the player. And I say there, I go, Joe Burrow, Joe Burrow, Joe Burrow, Joe Burrow, Joe Burrow, 10,000 times. 10,000 times. It's going to take me hours to do it. But Joe Burrow's the one I'm going to pick, and it's going to be a positive video, not a negative. It was when I first got on YouTube, it was no Todd Gurley. I said no Todd Gurley 10,000 times. It took me hours. I went, no Todd Gurley, no Todd Gurley. I couldn't even like talk. It was like, no.
You just go on live and say the same thing over and over?
For hours. For 2.5 hours.
Why? What do you do that for?
Awareness. Todd Gurley, no Todd Gurley awareness. We dropped his ADP by like a round, and he busted that year. So this is going to be a Joe Burrow. It'll be, I might vary it up. I might say cigar smoking Joe Burrow, Joey B, Joe Burrow, 10,000 times. Get ready for it.
So you're just gonna say the 10,000? You just repeat yourself?
I went live for 10 hours straight waiting for Aaron Rodgers to announce that he wasn't having an announcement. I mean, what surprises you about that?
Smitty, you're a wild man, dude. You're unbelievable. But though, shout out to Smitty. He is closing in on 13K subscriptions on YouTube. Follow that man.
All right.
You are a crazy man.
I'll see you all later.
All right, take care, man. Have a good night.
Good takes, Raj. I mean, they're all good. That was a good show. Put that on YouTube. Good one.
That was a fun night.
Put that on YouTube. That'll smash. All right, later.
All right. Whew! That was a fun night, ladies and gentlemen. That's it. I'm done. I'm tapped out. I'm thirsty. I've drank so much water tonight. Just too much. I'm done. You guys have a beautiful night. Take care. Get some sleep. I love you. Have a good night. Whew.